welcome back to another episode of the Blitzkrieg Pop, presented to you in fine fashion by the co-owners of Infinite Collectibles here in Paducah, Kentucky. I'm Adam.
And I'm Alex, Adam's fat brother.
We are here with our longtime friends, geeks, cohorts, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Munch.
That's it. That's all we get.
That's all you're getting from me.
They call him Orange Joe.
We need to do an episode about that one of these days.
We will.
Yeah.
Dr. Octothorpe.
Dr. Octothorpe. I hadn't been mentioned in a minute.
Also, Munch has just recently gotten engaged. I just want
Yes,
everybody
He's going to get
We're going to bring that up in the next like 6 episodes to make sure that the next one has it.
just whichever one has it.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool.
Did you say your name?
Oh, yeah, AJ, I guess. I'm not sure.
That's all you got.
All right.
My name's short, man. I got 2 fucking letters.
And we're here with our friends. We've got...
Returning.
I am Zach.
Okay, just Zach.
See, people gave me shit for just being like, I'm Munch, and that's what they're doing.
I am Zach.
I am Justin.
That was very sexual.
Justin's making his, 7th return.
Oh,
Yeah, how many?
yeah.
You've been on here way too much.
Yeah.
At the Cobble
Sick
Kid.
of it.
I tried to get him in on something last night, and he's like, I'm having dinner with my wife. Fuck off.
No.
Well, I didn't. I mean, that was not what was in the text message.
That's what
Justin loves his wife.
It was just like, no, I was like, I'm literally at dinner at this moment. I can't leave.
I can't get out of this.
I just wanted to talk about Super Show.
If you were a good friend, you would leave.
Yeah, then you kept texting me stuff.
I
So.
know. Sorry about that. But,
right.
okay, we got someone new down there. Well, he just said his name's Zach. Go for it, Zach.
Zach's far from new.
He's not new at all.
Not
but
even close.
Do you got a Twitter handle?
No, I mean I
Oh,
do, but I
bullshit.
never check it.
You tweet.
No,
tag you
man,
in
no,
shit all
not
the
me. Just
you?
Facebook. That's it.
Bullshit. You don't tweet.
I mean,
see your
every
shit
once in a
all the time.
while, I will. I get on there to check Misty's stuff. I'm like, what kind of day is she having? Yeah, it's a good day. That's what I'm going
Super
home to.
husband.
Yeah, he gets on there to figure out how horny you should be for the day.
Am I going to get laid? I'll check my wife's mood on Twitter.
Oh, she's pissed.
So I got a little story about Zach. You guys can't see him, those of you that don't know,
He's
but
beautiful.
Zach was
He is.
often mistaken for Kid Rock in the early 2000s.
Yeah, this is true. Oh my God.
And I think he
Twice.
signed some autographs.
Twice.
He is so white trash that he is fucking mixed up with Kid
I
Rock.
got first time was out in front of Peck's supermarket. They wanted to know what was my real name. And I was like, Zach Hill. And they're like, that's Kid Rock's real name. It's before Wikipedia, so shit, I could have said anything. And the second time was at a Farley Elementary's fall festival. I was sitting behind those orange long tables that if anybody went to Farley Elementary, you know what I'm talking about, in the gym. And they walked up to me like I was giving autographs. I swear to God. That really happened, and I did it. I signed to Kid Rock.
That's
amazing.
Cursive too. I
That's good
I
shit.
suck at cursive.
Plus, he used that opportunity to steal a bunch of cool 2-liters.
oh yeah, that
you guys
happened.
remember at the fall festival, you always got the 2-liter soda.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember the cakewalk. That
Cakewalk,
was
motherfucker.
Yeah.
How many cakes you win, Munch?
I could win like 3.
Yeah.
I was good at it.
Man, Shara loves a cakewalk. We went to the kids ones, and she's like, let's go to the fucking cakewalk.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
and
yes.
the ring toss for the 2 liters.
Yeah.
And
Adam
all
always
that
ends up
shit,
working
too.
those things.
I used to. Lindsay's out of the preschool game.
Yeah.
Do they
But
still
I-
have Plinko?
No. What the fuck?
That's where you win a
for
little
old people
megaphone
now.
or
Just
something.
Just Google Plinko for anyone that doesn't
I
know,
know
what
what
that
a
is.
Plinko is.
Well, I
but-
didn't, I'm saying the people listening might not know what that is, but it's a fun game.
I honestly don't know what that
What's
is.
the
It's where you put the
popcorn
little
thing?
ring and it bounces down the little.
Yeah.
What Adam is probably
Pegs.
way better at explaining
It
this than
bounces
me.
off pegs that all the way down and has
Yeah.
to hit a certain spot.
Just didn't know if it still
Adam was
existed.
such a shitty brother and a good worker
What's-
at the fall festival that he wouldn't even cheat for me. I'm like, oh, let me get a handful of candy, dog.
Yeah, because there was fucking kids that, needing shit, and Alex is like, let me have everything that they're gonna get.
Yeah,
I'm
Those
like,
kids
dog.
don't even work, man. They don't deserve
Yeah.
nothing.
I want a fucking free bag of popcorn, bro.
and Alex doesn't work either, which brings us all the way back to
Oh,
the first time I met Zach. Though he ran into a barbed wire fence. He got his
with
face,
his face.
got his face.
I did.
hung on it.
I did.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, we were
What-
playing hide and go seek in the
yeah.
dark.
That's
What
why
about-
it looks like Kid Rock now.
That's it.
And a kid named
No,
Cody was chasing me super quick, and I remember just hitting that barbed wire fence. And when I pulled away, all that. Oh my gosh, it was so terrible.
It was bad, man.
It looked
Yeah.
like Jonah Hex.
And I remember just like laying down on the bed and just feeling like I was gonna pass out, and all y'all are like, "Oh man, you're gonna be fine." But
You're gonna be
I don't think I'm gonna be fine.
Let's get in some asprin.
I'm gonna pass out.
Wait, what's your first meeting with Zach? Eric?
I don't
Munch?
remember. I mean, it's been I've been drunk since then.
Hey, hanging out
remembers.
with Jesse
Oh yeah.
and Wes
Yeah.
and
Munch's brothers.
the house next door.
Oh, the little
Just-
white one.
Yeah, I remember hanging out on the porch till man.
Probably till the
Yeah.
sun came up. That's
Oh,
what we did over
absolutely.
there.
That's what we did. You play
Yeah.
hide and go seek in the fucking dark in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Eric's
it.
mom was always the kind, and she gets mentioned on every
I think
episode.
you've actually probably told this story.
Cody is an extra character
She
on the podcast.
pick him up at like 8 in the morning.
Oh,
We were
yeah.
like going to bed at 5. She's there at 8.
Yeah.
She would pick him up sometimes before we'd even get the chance to go to sleep.
Yeah. What was that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
She
That's
thought you
cool.
were.
She missed you.
But
She thought you were eating.
It had to do with her not wanting us to be in everybody's way.
And that's cool, though.
So it was like, get them out of there as soon as possible. They're not in the middle of other people's shit.
Don't you hate parents that don't pick their kids up?
I don't
Hey,
have
you
to
know
go
what?
through that.
My parents almost picked me up from your house at like 2 a.m. when Alex prank called him.
That's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of parents, Batman doesn't have any. And
As
Great
he should.
segue.
Oh.
this is a fucking episode about Batman.
Very slick.
Not jerking off about Zach's first appearance on the Blitzkrieg pop.
I say we change the whole subject. We're just talking about Zach now.
Zach jerking off. Yeah.
So yeah, we got Batman coming up. We've got.
I mean,
what
what could the title of this movie possibly be?
The Batman.
I mean,
That's what it's called.
Really?
That's what it's called.
Wait,
though.
what was the first one called? Just Batman or The Batman?
I think
Michael
it's-
Keaton.
are you
No, Michael
actually-
Keaton was Batman.
Michael Keaton's just Batman.
It's just Batman.
in gold
Okay,
font?
then
It's
they
just
can do
gold,
The
yeah.
Batman.
You know what? Wolverine already did that. We
Yeah,
already
they're
got the Wolverine.
That is
There
very
you go.
true.
DC
Yeah, we
is
did.
just stealing shit from Marvel.
Of course.
They're just gonna pull that one word, because I mean that's stealing, isn't it? Just the.
Maybe they could steal from Marvel Studios and make a good movie.
I doubt it. I doubt
Dan, can you insert like boo sounds from an audience?
Except for the audience is fucking wrong there.
Yeah.
I have to agree with AJ on that one.
I gotta say I disagree because Marvel definitely rips off DC because they were second.
Well, we were talking about good movies, though. What good DC movies are you defending
No,
there?
none. I'm just saying
Okay.
in general.
Well, depending on what era it came out.
it. No.
You guys know I'm a Marvel guy, but the Batman was probably said long before the Wolverine.
I mean, the Batman is always kind of been a thing. It's been the thing since the 30s.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you talk about the animated DC movies, they're actually pretty good.
They're really good.
There is an animated Batman series called The Batman that's really good, too. It's not as good as the old 90s one, but it's pretty solid, actually.
It is good. It's got Diedrich Bader, right? As
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's awesome. He was on Drew Carey for a long
What
time.
version of
Who
Batman
is he?
is this?
Is he Batman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold,
That is
hold the fucking phone.
ridiculous.
What version of Batman is this? Teach me.
What do you
It's
mean,
a-
what version?
It's an animated version.
I don't know this version.
It's the Batman version of the animated one.
Yeah, the
Something
cartoon
pretty
was
good.
just called The Batman.
Is that after animated
Yes.
series?
Oh, this was like probably 10 years ago, maybe?
It's in the 2000s, I do believe.
Wasn't Diedrich Bader the Brave and the Bold Batman too?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Which the Brave and the Bold is the best Batman and the best Aquaman.
Disagree.
The Brave and the Bold is second to the animated series.
Well, yeah, okay. It's the best Aquaman, no question.
Hands down the best Aquaman.
But it's like the second or third best Batman.
Even with your man crush on Momoa, you still...
just because my man crush on Momoa does not extend to that being a good movie because I can't get over the fact that the movie fucking sucked.
No, gotcha.
I haven't seen Aquaman. Does he have the hook hand?
He does not have the hook hand, but
What?
there is an octopus that plays the drums.
That's amazing.
You were talking about animated Batman movie, Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's what
Such a
changed the
good
game,
movie.
man.
Dude,
Right after
AJ
Returns.
and I actually talked about Mask of the
Dude, that
Phantasm
movie
last
is
night.
fucking epic.
He actually has that circled on his page.
Yeah, it is the best
It is.
Batman movie.
1993. Why can't they top that?
They never will.
Good point.
It's because
Robert Pattinson will not. I have to say this. I don't feel like Robert Pattinson's a bad casting choice.
You just stole that from me.
I feel like what can't be done is for DC to put together a cohesive universe in which any of it makes any fucking sense. So who cares who's Batman?
Yeah, I don't
because
trust-
they're going to recast him three years from now. So who gives a
agree.
fuck?
I don't
Yes.
trust Warner
Who
Brothers
gives a
at all.
flying fuck
Yeah.
who Batman is?
I agree 100%. Yeah.
It sucks because it's
Doesn't
going to
matter.
get blamed on him too, even
And
though
it's
he's
not
a
his
solid
fault.
actor who's been in some shitty movies, which what actor hasn't?
Right.
But it's going to end up being a shitty ass movie, and they're going to go, "Oh, it's because Sparkly Vampire was in it."
Let's get a new one.
I keep hearing that he's been in other good movies, but I don't know any.
It's mostly like indie weird movies because he's one of those actors. He kind of did, which Alex's favorite actor Ryan Reynolds did a lot of this. After he made a shit ton of money, he started doing a bunch of weird indie movies because he could, because he was already rich. So who gives a shit?
Like Buried Alive.
Side note, when you said the word Ryan Reynolds, I wanted to check on my wife to make sure she was safe.
Jesus Christ!
He is so rapey.
Here we go again.
Sorry.
But anyway,
there you go.
I hope he comes down to Paducah and just beats your ass, and we're
I
all.
would fucking put him in a West Kentucky headlock.
He'd be a good Riddler, though, if you think about how fast he talks and the stuff that he says.
Wait a second, we're gonna have to reel this in. I need to know what a West Kentucky headlock
It's
is.
just a standard headlock maneuver, but it's in West Kentucky.
It's done in Western Kentucky.
Scream yeehaw while you're doing it.
yeah,
my God.
and I chew on straw.
Now, wait a second. Now, hold on. Going back to this Riddler thing, I maybe vocally, maybe personality, but like he don't look like the Riddler to me.
Because Dan Cook does.
most of the people they cast don't look like the people in the comic
That's
books.
kind of the
very
point.
true.
The guy in Gotham
That is
actually
the-
looked really
Did-
good.
That
Did
they
Jim
should
Carrey
look
remind you
close.
of the Riddler?
Yeah,
Yes.
Did he?
He was just
Yes.
goofy.
Yeah, he's just goofy.
just goofy.
He's not.
Yeah.
he
I'm
doesn't
just-
Look
like
at
the
look.
Riddler.
Wait. Look at the Batman '66.
Okay.
The Riddler from that.
Okay.
And tell me that Jim Carrey didn't at least somewhat resemble that guy.
I wouldn't compare anything
but that's not
to
good
66.
either, though. I mean, that's still terrible.
Burgess Meredith was the finest casting ever as the Penguin.
And he was a penguin,
Yeah.
and then you got
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, who didn't look
Yeah.
a damn thing like that dude.
And he could have, though.
You
Is
know
the
what's so
thing.
fucking
He
weird
could
about-
have been a mob guy, but they
what's
didn't
so
do it.
terrible about Danny DeVito is they actually gave him fucking webbed hands. You know, I wouldn't let Tim Burton direct anything.
No.
I mean, why does Danny DeVito's Penguin have flippers?
And Black Blood.
Wait,
Yeah,
there's
what?
good Tim Burton movies.
No, there's not.
Yes, there is.
There's like
Stop.
two. Beetlejuice exists.
Corpse
Yeah.
Bride.
Oh, okay.
Corpse Bride. No, that wasn't a. No, was that Tim
Yes.
It
Burton? I
might
thought that
be.
was the same guy who did Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's
Wait,
Tim Burton.
Big Fish. I
Tim
learned
Burton didn't do
yeah, Big
Nightmare
Fish
Before
is good.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Big Fish is awesome.
Dude, I loved it.
No, he didn't.
The
Okay,
first
Big
Batman
Fish is
movie.
awesome.
You
The
guys
first
are talking
Batman
over
movie.
each other.
Yeah. But
Tim
no,
Burton definitely did
He absolutely didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas.
He didn't?
No, absolutely not. He came up with the character designs, but that's it.
He's a producer,
outta
right?
He's a producer. He did not write or direct it, though.
You're
What?
shitting me.
Nope.
No.
I thought it's called
He gets
Tim
all
Burton's
the, yeah, he
Nightmare
gets all the credit.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh,
You know something
man.
that I don't. That's awesome. You have a rare jewel of a victory over me.
Damn, I just learned something.
Me and Alex are actually, that's 175 victories apiece now.
That's right.
The next one's a tiebreaker, and one of us must die.
Rubber match.
That's true. So
All right.
listen, we're here to talk about Batman, though, not fucking Tim Burton.
Well, Tim Burton's
Jack
Batman.
Skellington.
To be fair, Tim Burton's Batman probably enamored our generation of fans with Batman, though.
Yeah.
I know
100%.
Coble really has a strong erection over that movie.
Well, no, it's not that. It's just that's the reason we all like Batman.
I
Yeah, I mean,
disagree
I
with
remember-
that. It's probably why we
Yeah.
like it,
I
but
remember
not everybody.
I remember
Most
having
people
Yeah.
that
Bat-
are our age.
Batman Chuck
Agreed.
Taylors. I mean, they had the bat logo all over them, like the bat symbol. I mean,
there's-
it was a big deal in '89.
I mean,
90.
I was 3 when that movie came out.
Fuck you, AJ.
Yeah.
All right. I was 8. I was impressionable.
Yeah.
I somehow thought, Bruce Wayne sleeping upside down was cool.
So
That is cool, to be fair.
speaking of you saying that movie came out when you were 3, what about your first Batman experiences? Your first Batman movie experiences? Do you remember the first time you saw Batman in a movie?
Yeah, I went into my mom took me to the movies to see it, and I loved it.
Nice.
What kind of popcorn do you have?
It's just the
Did
probably.
you get a blue slushy?
I think that
There weren't slushies
predates
back
the
then.
blue
No,
slush.
I think I got. If it's classic little kid Justin, it would have been popcorn that me and my mom shared, and Twizzlers for me, and then a Coke.
And
Did
a
you
block of
really? Did you
cheese.
really go to see the '89 Batman? In
Yeah,
the
mom
theater?
took me to see that.
Justin would have been 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, this was pre me and Adam. Wow.
Absolutely was.
Oh, before drawing Mario airships in a competition.
That was 90. That was 93, right? 90,
We would have been 8.
92, 93.
We
somewhere
were
along
8
there.
years old, so.
You were born in 82, weren't you?
Yeah.
Zach, you're next over there. What's your first Batman experience? Not even movie experience, just
Yeah.
Batman. right?
Man,
cool.
that's a. I would say, I know I saw the first one, but I don't there's no way I'd see the second without seeing the first. But I remember going and seeing the second one in theaters when I was, I don't know, it was in '92 and I was born in '84. So it scared the shit out of me.
Batman?
And, yeah, I mean, think about it. I mean, Danny Elfman, Tim
There's some
Burton.
shit you don't tell people,
You know, I
man.
was like 8 or whatever, and I remember in a dark theater, the Penguin, he was like, burn, baby, burn. I mean, dude, I did fucking traumatized me. I loved it, you know.
Penguin looks like one of my second grade school teachers, like with those weird underwear that he was wearing.
The layer, it was pretty creepy. And that's why I look back and I'm like, Michael Keaton probably wasn't the best pick, but for that era,
I don't know, man.
Oh, well, speaking of Michael Keaton, I mean, people hated his casting.
That's
I got notes on this. People fucking hated him being cast. Now, but anyways, we're moving on to AJ's first Batman experience.
It's actually one of my, honestly, I think the only 2 movies I've ever seen in a theater with my dad, and the second one's horrifyingly embarrassing. But I do remember seeing Batman Returns with him. And the second one was the South Park movie.
Oh, wow. I saw a movie with your dad in the theaters. He took us to see The Animal with Rob Schneider.
Son of a bitch, he did. That's way more embarrassing.
Damn, man, whoa.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm retiring from this podcast, and I'm going to go live in isolation in the Adrianax.
Hey, goodbye.
I deserve this.
Yeah.
What year was that? What year?
Fuck, like 2003.
Who cares?
2004. It doesn't matter. It's
Your
embarrassing.
first Batman experience is 2003.
No. He's talking. I thought you were talking about the Rob Schneider thing.
No, I'm talking about the first. Whenever your dad took you to see Batman.
I don't know. Whenever the fuck Batman Returns came out.
I'm like, you were going to see movies with your dad taking you in 2003.
Returns came out, what, 91, 92?
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
I
love
think
my dad.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Batman Returns is definitely like my first experience with Batman, and what I really took away from that is that penguins can have lasers on their heads,
Oh, yeah.
weapons and stuff.
Did you
Definitely
know
a
that?
mistake of the movie.
Did you know that on the set of that movie, they spent over $1 million in renting penguins, and also all the facilities to keep penguins cool,
That's amazing.
so that they can walk around with those fucking shitty rockets on their back.
Amazing.
So
Seriously,
stupid.
Excuse
that
me.
part of the movie cost them $1 million. Like,
Yeah,
I
it was
think
money
they-
well spent.
They spent
Well
that
worth
much
it.
in Spider-Man 1 to keep Kirsten Dunst's teeth straight.
They didn't do a very good job.
work. But you're also talking 10 years different there.
But also
Yeah, that's
the
true.
best part of Batman Returns is the scene when Michael Keaton doesn't have his mask on anymore, and Christopher Walken is confused as to why Bruce Wayne is wearing a Batman costume.
Yeah,
like he has no, he's so.
It's like, what the fuck, Bruce Wayne?
I can't do his voice, but he's just like, why are you dressed up like Batman?
So I had this black, this plastic Batman mask as a kid, and I
What
realized
I
that
remember is that bad abs it had.
I realized that Batman had like his eyes are colored, like they would paint the
grease paint.
Yeah, the grease paint. So I took a fucking Sharpie, fucking drew. I looked like one of the Misfits or something, Jerry Only or Doyle or something. Yeah, we'll tag you in that, Jerry. And I looked like fucking one of the Misfits, and I put the mask on and I looked badass. But what I really remember about the costume is that I was a really obese child, and my parents.
Not much has changed.
Yeah, that's right. And it had like a chest plate with muscles and abs and shit on it.
It was tiny.
Yeah,
Damn,
it was tiny. I mean, it was way above my belly button, like uncomfortably above my belly button.
Yeah, ab titties.
And this is when I was little. And about 2 years later, I was trying to impress girls, and I wore that fucking thing to school, and I said I had abs.
Under his shirt.
Under my shirt. Just sitting on my fat, flat body.
It's like a sadder version of the Arrested Development scene with the muscle suit.
Oh gosh.
But I remember knocking on it, like hitting my chest, and it was just like hitting this table or something. I'm like, I've got abs. And, of course, no one believed me because my love handles were hanging out the side of the fucking thing. But anyways, that's a Batman experience for me.
I wish
I
a
knew
weird
you,
Batman
man.
experience. I don't think Batman would take credit for that.
Batman would be like, gosh, I hate this kid.
Adam,
Yeah,
do you remember your first?
My first experience with Batman, I mean, was aside from probably action figures, it was the movie. I mean, I went to see it with my grandmother.
I'll be honest, like, I can't recall the first one. I'm thinking back as far as I can. I think Batman's just part of the geek
I remember
fabric.
being
Oh, I
in the
remember
theater.
mine.
You do, for real?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
we
remember
gotta get
being
to
in the
that.
theater, and when the Joker pulls out the super
long gun.
gun
Oh,
and
God.
was shooting down the plane. I mean, I just remember thinking that was badass.
I remember people jerking off about how cool that movie was and remembering that scene and going, y'all haven't watched that movie since the 90s or 80s, have
What's
you?
wrong with that scene?
To me, it
It's-
doesn't hold up well, that movie.
It does. I've tried rewatching it, and nothing about it makes sense, and it's terrible.
Watch
And
another Batman. None of them make sense.
My best man. Sorry about that.
The
Had to
fuck
be
was
done.
that?
It's part of the movie. Batman.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's the
I've been doing it.
Jack Palance has that scene where he
He
tells
sucks in air like this. His head shakes. You're my best man, Jack. You guys go on YouTube and watch this fucking scene. I've
actually
been
true.
talking about it since I was
Alex will
5 years
periodically
old.
hug us and do that.
And grab your arms as hard as I can and go, you're my best man, and breathe in really hard.
it is really awesome. All right, Eric, what's your first?
Well, I remember being, probably 3 or 4. My grandmother used to live right next door to us in the White House.
Hell yeah.
The aforementioned white home that was next to ours. And I would go over there whenever my mom was doing something. Grandma needed to watch me. We'd go over there. I'd sit on the shittiest green couch. It's like green crushed velvet couch. And watch, I guess it was on Sci-Fi. I'm not positive about what channel it was on back then. But I would watch Batman 66, the TV show.
Damn, that might have actually been my first too. Watching the reruns.
Yeah.
Of
The Hulk and Swamp Thing.
Hell yeah.
All
Oh,
three.
damn,
And she makes
yeah.
one of those shitty Totino pizzas that's either flimsy or it's hard as a brick. And I would eat that every day and watch that show.
Damn, that's awesome, dude.
Batman
And
66.
Oh, yeah.
Out of
Adam
those
West.
3, what was your favorite as a kid?
As a
Batman?
kid, it was always Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing's the shit, man.
Even back then.
Yeah.
But Batman was awesome, even
Yeah.
though it was terribly goofy.
I remember like staying
Camp.
up on like
Campy.
3 or 4 day benders with Zach watching that fucking Batman, the 60, what's it, 66?
66.
But that, what, Adam West?
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
we'd be up at like,
Batusi.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
8 in the morning it would come on and we're like, oh, we'll go to bed at 10 o'clock tonight. You know, we like was staying up for days.
Let's do this.
Not doing drugs, talking about comic books.
I just remember I didn't like the show because I saw the Tim Burton movie first, and then
Yeah.
you know my mom and dad were like, "Oh, Batman's on this channel," and
And
I
then
turned
it's
it. I was
super
like,
goofy.
"This isn't really Batman."
Because you kind of got the Dark Knight.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A lot of people only know the Dark Knight. They don't know the years between
Yep.
his
Exactly.
creation and then the comics code coming in. And then for the fucking large portion of his career, it was nothing but garbage, rainbow costumes, and
Bad
fucking
hombre.
Bad hombre and pirate Batman and
Well,
all
like
this
kind of give
bullshit.
someone a breakdown who's not well versed in this like we are.
Yeah, when it was The Seduction of the Innocent was the big book that
Yep.
Yeah,
that ruined comics for a
Sure.
long time.
Yeah, I think from 1955 to until 87 when Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns.
Well, I don't think so because I mean your timeline's right, but Frank Miller did that with Daredevil first.
I understand that, but he didn't do it to Batman first.
Oh, but I'm
talking about
the-
Batman.
oh, you're
Oh.
talking about the code though.
No, I'm talking. Well, sure. 1955 is when they cut Batman's balls off. Is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. I thought you meant as they were enforcing the code.
Yeah, that is when it started. That's when they started.
Yeah.
They started. You know,
I kind of misunderstood.
he
where you
went
were
from
going.
carrying a gun and killing people to I wear a rainbow costume.
Those purple gloves were really cool, though.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, what a lot of people.
I'm not even joking, by the way. I really thought that looked
It reminds me of the
Yeah.
Undertaker.
Oh, you
Maybe
beat me
that's
to it.
why. Maybe
Yeah.
that's
Well,
why.
I really said like right before we went on here. I said we'll mention the Undertaker in 5 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. It took us like 20, but here we are.
yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people like Batman now won't kill, but in one of his earliest appearances, it was either his second or third.
All of them.
He hung a mentally challenged man from the bat plane by a wire and said it was for the best
my
because he
gosh.
would not live a good life because he was mentally challenged.
Super progressive.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he was a villain,
Jeez.
but still, like, he straight up says, like, it's best because otherwise his ass would have been terrible or
Sure.
something.
Yeah.
He was more like Rorschach, right? Kind of
Straight-
where he was a lot more aggressive with
Oh.
his.
Only he was somehow more murderous and libertarian.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's some weird stuff through history, but I mean, even in these, we're talking about the films too. I mean, Batman, he's in Batman Begins, and there's the monastery where Ra's al Ghul's
Oh,
at,
gosh.
and he's like, kill these people to prove that you can be part of the what's it called, the Shadow Clan or something. I don't know.
The Foot Clan.
The Clan of Shadows.
Close enough.
I don't know. The KKK. I don't know
It's
what it
probably
is.
the KKK,
But
yeah.
he's like, I don't kill people, and then he murders everyone in that fucking monastery.
It's a massacre
Lights
for
it on
sure.
fire.
Yeah.
Fucking the only guy that gets out is Ra's al Ghul. I mean, it's fucked up,
Who he
man.
also murders later.
Yes, who he murders later. Not to mention, in these same movies, the same series, he's driving the Batmobile and just flipping innocent cop cars. I mean, there's a fucking kill rate. Like, it's crazy for that Batman.
Yeah, in The Dark Knight, that scene where he's chasing the Joker in that semi-truck, like, there's a lot of police casualties. From
Lots of
Batman.
casualties.
And a lot of just like random civilians that are like driving off the road and exploding.
Trying to get out
And
of
it's
the
like,
way.
oh, I'm sure they're just unconscious. Like, there's a great skit with like Patton Oswalt.
Oh, my God.
Is Patton Oswalt the Riddler, the Joker,
He's
or
the
something?
Penguin.
He's the Penguin. And Batman just keeps
parents are on
murdering
farm.
people.
And he's like, no, they're just going to sleep.
He's just asleep. He doesn't have his head right now.
That's
But
Pete Holmes. That's the dude that plays
gosh.
Batman.
Yeah.
Who's
Is it,
Pete
real,
Holmes?
is it
He's
really?
like a
college
oh, that's
humor.
great.
college humor. He's like a comedian.
He says his parents live on a farm.
Because he like,
Upstate.
Upstate.
yeah, he throws a batarang at their head and they fall over and die, and he's just like, oh, I just knocked him out. And Commissioner Gordon's like, dude, what are you doing?
Like, you're like killing people.
Yeah,
It's like, no.
Penguin and Gordon end up talking to each other like, can we have a talk about this? Like, he's just killing people.
I remember in the Batman Begins video game on the Xbox, if you accidentally like punch a civilian, you lose health, and it'll be like, you have harmed an innocent, feel their pain.
You know, Batman has had some great video games, though.
Oh, Batman's had some of the
absolutely.
best video games other than Spider-Man.
I love the NES Batman
It's
game.
so hard, but man, it's a fun
Actually,
game.
both of them. Batman Returns is awesome on the NES.
Is that the
plays like
Return of the
Double
Joker
Dragon.
game or whatever?
No, fuck Return of the Return of the Joker is hot garbage.
Yeah.
But Batman on the NES, like where you can do the wall jump, and then the Batman Returns is like Double Dragon.
Yeah. Well, they made
No.
one on the Super Nintendo that's way better.
It's
But
the
it's the
Batman
same
Forever game?
No. They made Batman Returns for the Super Nintendo, and it's like
it's a different game and it's hot garbage.
no. There's a Batman Returns for the SNES. That's
Yeah, I know.
that's a Double Dragon beat 'em up.
It's not as good as the NES version.
No, it's better. I'm telling you, I played both of them. They're awesome. The
Y'all
one on
fight
the Super
about it.
Nintendo is good. I used to rent it from Movie Hut all the time.
Oh, well, that's debatable.
But
All right,
anyway,
we'll play them on like a side video or something. We'll
yeah,
post
all
it.
right. So, is the one with the Joker and Two-Face forever, or Batman and Robin? I forget every time.
Joker and Two-Face.
No,
You mean the
Riddler and
Riddler.
Two-Face.
That's Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's
well,
Batman Forever.
No,
That's
yeah,
Batman Forever.
Okay, well, that
Yeah,
Super
it is
Nintendo
forever.
game
That's
was
Val Kilmer.
fucking awesome, and one of the first co-op games I remember absolutely loving.
Hell
Other than
yeah.
That and Altered Beast were the two best.
Oh,
co-op
Doesn't
games.
the Batman Forever game have like the capture where it's like the real people? It looks like the real people. Is that the one?
Yeah, and then like at the final boss is the Riddler in a muscle suit for some reason, and he'll be like,
Well, I mean, you want to talk about fantastic Batman games? I know we've mentioned them a couple times, but those Arkham games are
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
awesome.
Every one of them.
yeah.
Dude, they're
That's a
amazing.
great trilogy.
Absolutely.
I still haven't played Night yet.
Did you ever
but-
beat Asylum?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Where at the end, the Joker's like this massive
Oh my
mutant.
gosh, yeah.
Arkham Knight's amazing.
Arkham
Yeah,
Knight
it's
was
really
awesome.
Where you actually get to drive the fucking Batmobile.
My only complaint is you have to do it so much; it's almost
You do.
obnoxious. But the game is still fun.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
story.
They actually could have called it Batmobile.
Yeah.
My only complaint is that it's a video game,
Yeah,
and I'm
just-
not going to play
Alex,
it.
Alex runs a video game store and is scared of video games.
That's not true. I like Mega Man games.
Mega
Alex-
Man sucks.
Alex likes classic
Fuck
stuff.
you.
I like
guess it's probably
instant
more fair.
gratification. I can't run
Instant
around.
gratification, Alex.
Yeah.
That's
Man,
why-
Mega Man's far from instant gratification.
That's fucking true.
That's why Alex comes in
Punishing.
30 seconds.
That's actually true too. Sorry, Shara. Yeah, I've never played one. I've watched my kids play them.
Man, you
They're
so
fun.
need to.
Shara, my wife, she plays them. She loves them.
You need to play them.
You just get to customize them and everything. It's so cool.
Well, but that's the weirdest thing though, because they aren't technically instant gratification. Because all you got to do is beat people up.
I just really don't like that kind of game.
Just really don't like video games.
That
No, it's not that. It's not that.
He's not good at games.
I'm not
so
good.
therefore-
That's what it is. You're not good at them.
Do you have any idea where Bruce Wayne got his name?
I don't. I have no idea.
Adam, where do you get it
I
from?
was doing some research today.
Tell us, buddy.
Tell us.
Well,
Tell
he
us,
was
little
named
guy.
after Robert the Bruce of Scotland, the King of Scotland.
Oh.
And Mad Anthony Wayne, who was a hero of the American Revolution. That's actually where Bill Finger, the unmentioned creator of
That's
Batman,
true.
got his name, which is pretty interesting.
I want to say a side note. Bill Finger could not even afford. I mean, his family.
He also had a hand in creating the Green Lantern.
No shit.
Yeah, it's actually sad the
The,
way.
the Alan Scott one? Like
Yes.
the 40? Okay.
He couldn't
cool.
even afford a coffin at his death.
Well, it's fucked up because 15 years after his death, Bob Kane is on the record saying, I probably maybe should have gave that guy some
I
credit.
mean, that's really sad.
Was it only 15 years? I figured it was way longer than that.
No, he actually hasn't been dead that long.
Yeah, it's weird how like people shit on Stan Lee about his stuff about Ditko or Kirby when he really did give them tons of credit.
Tons of credit.
But
nobody wants to call out Bob Kane about it.
Yeah, Bob Kane was a true shithead.
Only
actually
a few
look-
people call him that.
Actually, look at
Steranko
Bob
does.
Kane and the deal he worked out with the National Publication. He said he didn't take Bill Finger with him to the meeting, and then sold Batman to DC Comics basically, and said, "Hey, I'll sell it to you as long as you don't put Bill Finger's name on it."
Well, and then he had ghost artists and ghost writers.
Of course,
And
yeah.
it would say Bob Kane.
His original
Because he's a cocksucker.
Bob Kane's
really
design for Batman, he wears red. It's awful.
It's ugly as fuck.
Yeah,
It's
like
awful.
Bats
Not
did.
bat-like at all.
No,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's actually really bad.
Jeez.
It's
Actually-
it's really sad because Bill Finger's very important. So
Absolutely.
is Jerry Robinson, who created Joker.
Well, that's debatable too. There's a
I
little bit
know
of
there's some
back and
debate
forth
there.
on that, but
Bob Kane certainly didn't.
no.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Kane was kind of the
might have
art.
come up with the idea, maybe the name. I don't know.
He came up with the Bat hyphen man.
You are right, AJ. That's a good point. I know we're talking about primarily DC and Batman, but Stan Lee did give a lot of credit to people.
Yeah,
And-
he
and
like
it was only the media that gave him all the credit.
yeah, it's
You know
not.
what I'm saying?
I mean, he gets blamed for being the more charismatic because Jack Kirby, love him to death, amazing person, one of the most important comics ever.
Shut up,
He,
Eric.
he had all the charisma of a wet sack of turds.
True. So did Steve Ditko.
And so Steve Ditko was
Ditko
a
has
huge.
less.
Yeah, Ditko was a big libertarian piece of shit and a huge asshole. So yeah, he did not get the same credit as Stan Lee, who was a lovable grandpa.
But did you know, and a lot of people don't, that before Stan Lee made it normal, there wasn't even credits in comic books.
Yeah, they didn't even
Yeah.
do it except for Bob Kane because he made a specific deal.
Yeah, exactly. But Stan Lee is the first one that said we're going to credit the artist and the writers and the
And he made
inker
up all
and
that shit.
Stan the Man, Jack the
And
King.
and he
Jazzy
made,
Jeff.
he made up their
Smiling Artie
characters.
Simiak and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
Jazzy
and the
John
Marvel
Romita.
bullpen and
Yeah,
all that.
Jazzy
He
John
made
What,
up
Romita.
what
all
was
that.
Steve Ditko's thing?
Nothing.
He didn't have
Smiling-
like a nickname.
I
or
think it was
anything?
Smiling Steve Ditko.
Okay.
Seriously. Then there's
Steve-
Jazzy John Romita.
Sorry, I know we're off track.
No, fuck it.
it's comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're allowed
hey,
to.
Hey,
we
audience,
can
do
do
you
whatever
give
the
a fuck?
fuck we want.
Do you give a shit, audience, that we're off? What?
Hey, the Bob Kane. Have y'all seen that documentary on Hulu?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hey,
Jeez.
while
Batman
you were
Bill?
gone pissing,
They
we talked
finally-
about that.
Ah!
No, but yes, we did watch it, and it is very depressing.
It is, but it's good.
It's sad.
Yeah.
I checked the comic books. His name's finally there.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
2015. I think they finally recognized
Finally.
him.
What is it? Finger? What's his first name?
Yeah,
Bill
Bill
Finger.
Finger.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing too because like earlier there was an amalgam Iron Lantern comic, and I looked at it for a second. I was like, I can't. This artist seems familiar. I can't tell who it is. I went to look for him. I couldn't fucking find it because you know what? Even as recently as whenever amalgam was, which was what like 1996.
Yeah, it was 90s. It was in the 90s. Yeah.
97.
Why do you keep saying amalgam?
It's amalgam.
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 I can't
Amalgam.
say it.
I've
We're in
literally never
Kentucky.
heard that word
Well,
said
how
out
does
loud.
AJ
so.
not know the pronunciation of a word?
And he makes
I've
fun of
only-
me all the
I
time.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
You
that's weird.
Mr. Raccoon knows how to say
Yeah.
it.
Rakin.
That is an amalgam.
Rocket racket.
Is it amalgam?
Amalgam is amalgam.
Amalgam. Okay.
It's like an amalgamation.
I've
yeah.
actually never heard that word said out loud before. So
We're right, Thanos.
When we were younger, I would just wait for how Adam said something, and I'd be like, "That's got to be how it's said."
Okay.
I've actually done it
I
wrong.
still
plenty.
do that.
all right.
I'm like,
Just kind
All
of
right.
looking to him to know how to say.
know about that.
But anyway,
Sorry, I let you guys down.
Amalgam.
The point of this comic was yeah, like it's kind of weird that it's only been recently that you can just look at a comic's first couple pages and be like, oh, or the goddamn cover and say, okay, well,
Yeah, they're
this
on the
person is
cover
working
now.
on it. You know what? You know who wrote Iron Lantern? Because I don't, because it ain't on the fucking cover of the first like 6 pages.
You would
Well,
think
now
that-
sometimes it's at the very end.
Or in
I've
the
seen
middle.
that before.
I looked, you know what? I looked through that whole book.
It's
wasn't
sitting
there.
right behind
Yeah,
Cole's
So
head.
sorry you did that, AJ.
Yeah, it's terrible. I looked through
It's
it.
not good. It's terrible.
That's why.
So is that's Green Lantern and Iron Man put together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is the obvious choice because who knows?
Yeah, but
Hold up. Let me think. JLX, Iron Lantern, which I can't fucking say.
Deathclaw,
Dark Claw.
Dark Claw.
Yeah.
That's right.
Man-
Deathclaw's fucking
Man
Fallout.
of War, which is
Man-
Cap and Superman.
Oh my gosh.
thought that was
Bruce
Super
Wayne,
Soldier.
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's one.
I don't even know about that one.
That's a real one.
There was
it's sitting right
Spider-Boy.
over there, right under that
Spider-Boy.
Spider-Man statues. All of Magneto and the Magnetic Man, and Challengers of the Fantastic.
You forgot about Thor Ryan,
Thor
who
Ryan,
fought Thanoside.
Amazing. Wow. Yeah, I'm coming in my pants.
I thought that one with Superman and the
Man of War.
I thought it was called Super Soldier.
Oh, it was. You're
Yes,
right.
it is.
Speaking
'Cause I
of
looked at
the
it.
And Spider-Boy.
speaking
That's
of
one.
DC versus Marvel, it was total garbage that Batman beat Captain America in that fight.
Can we talk about the fact that
really stupid.
Batman drop kicked the Hulk through a car?
Is that where solar plexus came from?
No,
No,
that's
that's
from
Wizard.
Wizard.
That,
and it
that was
wrong.
a wizard thing
It used
because
to be a word that Alex would just.
if Batman
was a
punched
trigger
Spider-Man
word.
in the solar plexus, he would go down. That's where that came
It's just
from.
not true, though. Spider-Man has fucking spider sense.
Yeah. Anyone who thinks that Spider-Man could beat or Batman could beat Spider-Man in a fight does not know comics.
And that kind of brings us to a thing that Adam and I and Coble, for how fucking everyone here has talked about forever. Batman fans thinking he can beat like Galactus or
Batman
Yep.
fans are douchebags that think he has some kind of plan for everything.
He'd always have a plan for everything.
something. And we're staring at Dan, a Professor Podcast, as
You know,
we
I've
say
actually had this said to me before that Batman's greatest ability it's not his peak physical form. It's not his ingenuity.
It's not his 8-inch cock and
It's
damn.
not his money. It's favoritism from the writers. Like that's not an actual ability. That's just you guys have propped this guy up. I mean, we fucking get it, Batman. You're a ninja, whatever. I enjoy stories like Batman Year 100, which is probably my favorite Batman
That's
story.
great.
Where Batman's like, oh shit, hope I don't get blown up. I hope that I survive this. It's not this. I roll into an island full of soldiers, whip 4,000 of them in a row's ass, then I break Bane's back. It's like, fuck you. That's terrible.
Quote our late friend Josh Simkis.
Josh Simkis literally said, Batman, we get it. It's enough.
You're a badass. We get it enough
Yeah,
already.
the problem with Batman is the most interesting thing about him is his side characters. Like Dick Grayson and Kate Kane are 1,000 times more interesting than Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
and I'll stand by that right
Well,
now.
you
Dick
know-
Bat was a lot cooler.
Dick Bat.
Dick Bat was
like
a lot
that.
cooler than regular Batman.
It's not Bat Dick.
Because no, my favorite scene from a Batman comic is after Dick Grayson had to take over for Batman after he got shit through eternity by Darkseid.
It's so stupid.
It was awesome. You're wrong there, but anyway,
No, it's dumb. But,
Dick Grayson, he faces down all these mob types. He whoops their asses. He goes home. He sits down on the staircase, takes his cowl off, and starts crying because he can't deal with it.
See, I dig that.
And
Yeah, I dig that.
it was a way more humanizing and interesting story than Bruce Wayne going, I'm very tough. Let me punch a man.
See,
But it's better than when Kevin Smith made him piss his pants.
I actually enjoy that.
and well,
Yeah, everyone forgets that, that's pretty recent. Kevin Smith made him pee his pants whenever he faced down some mafia people.
I was just gonna say it was also cool in that run because that whole storyline started when when Grant Morrison introduced Damian Wayne and Dick Grayson when he was Batman, having to keep control of that kid whose instincts his whole life taught him to kill people. And
Yeah.
Dick's like, that's not
That's
how
cool,
we do
man.
things. That's not how we do things.
I dig that.
It was
That's
great.
cool.
That was great.
I was gonna say one of my favorite stories since you brought him up is the New 52. I really loved the first run of the Court
Oh,
of
the Court
Owls.
of
Owls. Oh, that's a great story.
because they break Batman down and he's like
If you guys-
totally fucked
And new
up.
villains. They
If you
didn't
guys-
go to the well.
If
And
you guys haven't checked out Scott Snyder and
Yeah.
Greg Capullo's run on Batman,
I mean,
you're missing out.
until the Joker starts, and then it goes back
Yeah,
to
it kinda
regular
goes.
old Batman
Hey,
bullshit.
Snyder, Capullo fucking nailed it on that shit. Man.
Yeah.
yeah.
Court of Owls is like the coolest fucking thing
Yeah,
they've
it's
done
great.
in a long
I mean, let me
time.
tell you something. That art will break a book for me. If the art sucks, I'm done. That's enough.
Is that bad?
Capullo?
Oh.
I read that.
It's
It
fantastic.
made me read Batman.
He's awesome.
I don't read DC, and it made me read
Exactly.
Batman.
Zach,
Right
you were telling me about Capullo years ago
Because he did Spawn.
because you were on.
Man, he's a great artist. Yeah,
Well, you wrote-
He
you
knows
wrote-
detail
Spawn?
into
Yeah.
shit.
yeah, he did Spawn way
he
back.
comes from Spawn.
See, I didn't
think.
know that.
I think
Yeah.
that was his first big
Well,
thing.
well, here recently,
I don't know for a fact.
Todd McFarlane and they hung out and they did a little art session. Like he spent the night over at his house, and that's all they
fucking
did was
cool.
draw together.
He has a variant.
I mean, it's just kind of cool.
It'd be
you know?
cool to be a fly on the wall there.
Hell yeah.
Capullo has a variant cover for Spawn 300, which
That's
is
cool.
awesome because it's about to
Man.
break. It's actually about to break Cerebus the Aardvark's independent run.
Spawn 300
Which is
is,
good because
a milestone, really.
Dave Sim's
seriously.
a huge piece of shit.
Well,
so.
all right, Dave, fuck AJ up, but your comic
Dave
wins
Sim.
300 issues, and then Spawn is gonna be at 300 issues, and then in a month it's going to break the longest. It's going to break the record for longest independent running book of all time, which is pretty awesome.
I think it's
And
awesome.
Even though he doesn't make really a lot of money off of it, he sells like probably 1,000 issues a month.
No shit, it's actually that
and,
low.
and it's just like
really
Eric
low.
Larson,
Yeah.
Savage Dragon. They clearly do it for the fun,
passion
The
project.
passion.
The
man.
different-
That's cool.
Zach's always been an Image guy. I mean, even like in the 90s when I was like, fuck Image.
Even in
You
the
know what I'm
90s when the image was bullshit.
I mean, it wasn't good.
Hey.
And Zach was there. He had a Spawn movie poster on his wall when we were
Yeah.
kids.
Well, we could actually save how bullshit Image was in the 90s for another podcast.
Yes, we can.
We'll have a whole image.
But Sam and
podcast.
Twitch comics are pretty good.
Yeah.
They are actually pretty. That's
Yeah.
Bendis too. Brian Michael Bendis.
Oh damn, I didn't. Damn.
And he came, yeah, I mean.
That's where he got his start.
Has Bendis done Batman yet?
He
No,
hasn't
I
yet,
want
but
him
he's-
to.
It's
His-
weird too.
Just
'cause
the Giants.
His
at
super,
Walmart.
his
He did the
Superman
Walmart
is
stuff, yeah.
his Superman's
I'm
really
sorry.
good. So I would like to see him on like Detective Comics or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Hey, Tom King, man, that motherfucker's on fire.
It's a good.
He's Tom
I'm
King.
like,
we love you, bro.
That's
We
I'm
love
like
you.
30 issues into that series, and I really like it. It's
Mu-
really good. I agree with Adam that him fighting 100,000 mercenaries was stupid,
I thought it
but
was
everything
bullshit.
else is awesome.
I thought it was hot garbage when he raided Baines Island and faced thousands of armed soldiers by himself.
If there was just
Knocking them
20,
all
it
out.
would have been like more readable.
What always
Yeah.
bothers me is Batman has such a huge cadre of allies. Why they got to pretend like he's a one man army?
Because that's the way he likes to do it.
That's
I think.
bullshit, though. I mean, he's got like 20. There's how many Bat people are there at this point?
Too
That's a
many.
bunch.
Like at least 15.
Well, they
There's
addressed
as many bat people as there are spider
Isn't
people.
that
Yeah.
Batman? and
Well,
Queen?
well, they addressed that in that
Well,
book though.
They
Yeah, I
broke
think
up
they
Batman
do.
Incorporated.
Yeah,
Okay.
he thinks Bane is so crazy that he doesn't want them in danger, so he does something like I think he gets them to the Fortress of Solitude and won't let them out while he goes and fights Bane because I don't know.
Because Batman at his core is kind of dumb.
Do you guys want to know what Batman
A liar.
Batman is at his core? He is abusive to animals, and I don't know if you guys know this.
Animals.
What?
He is very
Oh, I love this.
abusive to animals. Now, I did a little bit of research today.
We talking
and-
about Ace the Bat Hound.
No, there's multiple
God.
multiple times where Batman has either struck a dog or
Really?
struck a horse.
Has he fought any gorillas
horse?
though? Any gorillas?
He actually has picked up a gorilla that had a bomb strapped to it and thrown him against a tree.
Motherfucker.
That is legit.
That's
You
What an
guys-
asshole.
Did you guys can Google all this? But listen,
I will.
I actually did some research today. I came up with, and I can't believe this, but Batman in particular is very abusive to bears. And I don't know what he has
Ew.
against bears, but he seems to have a thing.
Hell,
Can we get like a top 10 countdown of the times
They
Batman
actually-
whooped a bear's ass?
I have 3 examples
yes,
for you.
please, and no interruptions.
Oh,
Okay,
please.
in Batman 285, all right? Now, Gotham, it's a Christmas issue.
It's a one shot.
This is so hard to do.
Does he have a Santa hat on?
Okay, all right. Now listen. Okay, Gotham's putting up their Christmas tree down in the square, right? And they're having problems with the lights.
Always happens every year.
Okay, the lights don't want to.
That's what Wayne does.
Lights don't want to stay on, so of course they call in the world's greatest detective. No, I'm not.
Oh, we got a blinking light. Let's call it Batman.
So Batman, checking the strands,
Oh my gosh.
he's looking for the bad bulb, right? Like anyone would.
Do we have this?
And
here?
he sees out of the corner of his eye like a bear poke his head
There's some bushes.
This is amazing.
out of the Christmas tree.
Oh, dude, this is awesome.
So he enters the tree,
Oh.
That's one does. That's one
Because
does.
he's not scared of the
And
bear.
he sees a bear, a grizzly, that was apparently in the tree when they transported it from the forest.
Why wasn't it a polar bear if we're going to do a Christmas story?
This-
Fuck.
Listen, this actually gets better.
Oh,
man.
how
Oh my
good it.
gosh.
So, Batman's first reaction is obviously the bear is the reason that the lights are not working correctly.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So he
natural,
drop
Yeah.
kicks the bear in the face. And you can find this.
No
you can find
way.
the panel. All right, Batman 285. All right, Google it. Batman drop kicks the bear in the face, puts it in a headlock,
West Kentucky headlock.
Yeah, that's right.
basically giving it like a noogie. When lo and behold,
the fucking Christmas tree comes to life
Oh my gosh.
and starts beating up Batman.
Why wouldn't it?
I mean, why wouldn't it?
Well,
The bear was trying to warn him.
so
but-
wait, the bear's innocent is what you're telling me.
So he just whooped an innocent bear's ass.
Well, he has a thing for bears.
So, but you're saying though the bear didn't cause the
What I'm
light
saying is-
problem? He just whooped a bear's
Yeah,
ass.
they somehow the tree comes to life and fights.
That's fucking
Was
awesome.
this Silver Age?
Batman.
What year did 285 come out?
It's in the 70s.
It's insane.
Okay, that makes sense.
While Marvel was doing Morbius.
there was acid involved, is what I'm hearing.
So check this out.
Steranko was in this.
So you would be like, okay, well,
Who wrote this?
Batman had a problem. I don't know. We'd have to
Batman
look
had
it
a
up.
problem with drugs.
Batman had a problem. Batman had a problem with a bear.
Yeah.
Right? And you'd be like, okay, well, that's one bear. It continues, though. All right? In Action 465, Lex Luthor turns Batman and Flash into little kids, like they're like 10 years old. And somehow they get, I don't know what the fuck, but Superman comes across them like in a field, and they're both little kids. And for some reason, Superman's like, I'm not sure this is really you guys. I need you to prove it. Batman, I need you to fight a bear.
Back to the bear.
Because he knows he whooped
Because
that
he's
bear's
going
ass.
to.
his natural enemy.
Because he knows he fights bears. So Batman, as a little kid, like whips the shit out of this bear, which is stupid. I don't even.
Wait, he's little?
Yes, he's 10 years old, but he's still in the Bat costume.
The Bat Puppy.
Does it
beats
fit
the-
perfect?
So the bat costume shrinks, or is he like a little kid
it's-
in the like a
okay.
grown-
So what happens is the Flash steals a bear to prove he's the Flash, and Superman's like, "Oh yeah, cool, you stole a bear. I mean that makes you're obviously the Flash." So and then
not run real fast in this field.
Yeah, why not run?
and then well he did he ran so fast he could steal a bear from the
He
circus.
ran to catch the bear.
Yeah.
And
Bear's
then,
natural.
And then Batman, of course, beats the bear and then stands on it like he's Captain Morgan standing on a fucking rum barrel. And he's like, well, of course, you're fucking Batman. I mean, you just
man, that's
whip the
awesome.
shit out of a bear.
And there's another
And there is
example?
another example.
Man, he's just fucking these bears up.
Yeah.
Now,
Mama bear, Papa
this
bear,
one-
baby bear.
Is the next one a bear?
Ate some porridge, dog.
this one is my favorite one. Now, I know the Christmas tree is pretty wild, right? But this one,
Oh,
Detective
damn.
Comics 440.
Oh boy.
All right. Batman is investigating the kidnapping of a waitress. It turns out the waitress was kidnapped by her brothers, and they took her as a sacrifice to some fucking ghost on a mountain. So the curse turns out to be a grizzly bear, and Batman meets it face to face,
Oh my
looks at
gosh.
it, and you can read the panels. Batman decides that the bear has clearly been abused by humans. And instead of having any fucking compassion, I mean any compassion, he beats it with a chain, he proceeds to kick its ass, shoves it into a fire,
Full Ghost Rider on it.
and then rides it off a cliff to its death.
Oh
Does
my
he jump off the
gosh.
cliff?
Yeah, he jumps off of it right before it goes over the edge, and then he stares at its dead body on the rocks, and he's like, "Yep, good riddance, motherfucker."
So what I'm hearing here is that it's really been bullshit that Joe Chill's been blamed for this long for killing Batman's parents, because obviously it was a bear attack.
there's
But he
definitely
ain't
something.
bear, man.
A bear with like a robber mask on.
Well, bears make him sad, not scared.
And that's Detective 440. If you guys want to look that up,
Amazing.
That's not that. I mean, that's around the time Man Bat came out.
I'm telling you. Look, he has punched horses, bulls. He's on the in Batman Adventure #4. He punches a bald eagle.
Oh,
Damn.
He's abusive.
That's
as
just
fuck.
anti-American, right?
He's
Yeah.
He is very abusive. I don't think. I think if people knew the Batman, I'm not talking about the movie version. If they knew who the Batman was, they would know that he's a piece of shit. Anyone that abuses animals is a piece of shit
So
in my book.
Batman beats animals and conscripts children into his war on crime.
Yeah, basically.
So
and,
he's-
and gets them killed too.
Oh yeah, I mean he got one of his adopted sons beaten to death by a crowbar.
That's pretty nice.
So and actually Damien died once too. He got stabbed in the heart.
There you go.
So multiple children have died under the watch of Batman.
yeah, but Jason Todd came back as the Red Hood, and Damian Wayne is the grandson of Ra's al Ghul. So he just goes in the Lazarus pit for a minute. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, and Jason Todd sucked anyway, so he deserved it. But
He was cool as the Red Hood, though. I stand by that.
that happened like 30 years later, though.
Yeah, no, Jason Todd sucked before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, someone made him cool in the modern era. I mean,
Jason Todd was the Guy Gardner of Robins.
Yes.
You know
I
the
agree.
worst thing about Batman is he's not Daredevil. That's right.
Got real quiet
That's
real
right.
quick.
It's true.
Well,
It's true.
Batman has better villains, but I think I like Daredevil more. I agree with that.
But I think when you're comparing the Batman to any Marvel character, you have to more compare him to Iron Man than Daredevil.
Yeah.
I
He's
really
kinda like a squish
the reason
between
I'm
the two.
saying that is because Frank Miller did that Daredevil run.
Yeah.
And
Isn't
then
Mark
he left
Spector,
and went to
though?
DC and did
I mean,
the
Mark
same thing.
Spector is kind of a direct.
He really wasn't that much of a ripoff until Jeff Loeb got a hold of him, though.
Okay.
Because Jeff Loeb made him that. He made Carol Danvers Wonder Woman, then he made the Century Superman out of nowhere. And also Jeff Loeb's the worst.
That's fair.
But around the time the Daredevil show was really popping, people would come in here and go, "Oh, he's a lot like Batman," and I'm like, The truth is Batman's
he has
like
powers.
him.
Just the ninja stuff is really
I'm
what
just
people
saying,
are
like
comparing.
the Frank Miller stuff is Daredevil first.
Yeah.
He
all you have to say
the
is
Dark
this.
Knight is Daredevil.
The Ninja Turtles were based on Daredevil, not Batman.
Yeah, you're right.
That's absolutely true. And tell us why.
Because, well, I mean, it's
That's why they all have red
all
bandanas.
the turtles wore red bandanas after Daredevil.
The foot soldiers.
They fought the foot, where Daredevil fought
was
the
the
hand.
hand.
Yep.
Daredevil's mentor was Stick. Theirs was Splinter. I mean, it's the whole thing's based on.
They've
on
said
Daredevil.
that.
I've never put it together though.
Yeah.
No, that's
literally-
like
that's where they-
legit.
Yeah, I had no
And
idea.
there was another turtle named Kirby for Jack Kirby.
Oh shit.
Yeah, literally whenever the
the fifth one,
whenever
yeah.
the turtles started, they got the ooze came from the same accident.
Yeah,
that
it's the Daredevil accident.
No shit.
Yes.
Yeah, the ooze that blinded
That's the
Daredevil,
Daredevil accident.
turned the turtles into
Oh,
it. Now,
motherfucker.
now that's not Marvel canon, but it is Mirage canon.
Sure.
Really
That's
cool.
fucking dope.
And tonight we'll dine on turtle soup.
And we have somehow turned an episode. Wait, hold on. I can tie this in. Batman and TMNT is a movie.
That's right.
Several
it
comic
is.
series.
And
Just-
hold on, guys.
just came
Speaking of movies, though, I know we started, but what about the fan outrage when we talk about Batman movies? It's out of control.
Well,
Do you remember the Heath Ledger outrage?
Yeah.
comic fans are some of the poutiest motherfuckers on the planet.
It's true. I don't.
Let me read you some shit that I,
I count
pulled
myself
offline.
among them. So
I won't be able to watch this fucking movie. I'll keep expecting Joker to have sex with Batman. Yuck. And that's because Heath Ledger
Are we talking
played
about
a
Heath
gay
Ledger?
cowboy.
That's because comic fans are also notoriously homophobic.
Yeah, that's not good.
100% true.
we don't.
Yeah,
We
great.
do not support homophobia on the
Jokeback
show.
Mountain can't be the Joker. See, this goes on and on with Batman movies.
Yeah.
I mean, people
He
were
might have been the best casting for the whole anything.
I wasn't one of these homophobes, of course, but I mean, I was like Heath Ledger.
I
Fuck.
remembered him from 10 Things I Hate About You, and that seemed like
I remembered
a
it
weird
from A
cast.
Knight's Tale and was like,
It's a great movie.
That movie's awesome.
And he was
Not
in-
a Knight's Tale, 10 Things I Hate About
He
You.
was
Watch that
in
movie.
The Knight's Tale with Paul Bettany, Vision.
Heath
Oh, I
Ledger
forgot that.
as Joker. This is a fucking joke. I mean, this is real quotes.
Now,
from
I
real
would say that
people.
just because people didn't like Heath Ledger as Joker doesn't mean Robert Pattinson is going to be the best.
No,
Batman ever.
but I'm saying that people are generally wrong. Let's go for another
Oh,
example.
I remember people
Let's go
shitting their
for-
britches over Robert Downey Jr. being
That's
cast
what
as
I
Iron
was
Man.
just going to
Shitting
say.
their
And now they're shitting their britches because they don't want him to leave.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the weirdest fucking
Britches,
thing.
and we said britches.
This isn't Brett Kentucky, goddammit.
shit my breeches.
Okay, do you remember when Adam hated Mark Ruffalo being Hulk?
Why do we keep bringing this up?
What is it you call Ed Norton, by the way?
Nort Dog.
Nort Dog.
Nort Dog.
Nort Daddy.
Of course, that's in a
Nort-
future episode, which is going to be really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's-
To be fair, I had a big shit fit whenever they cast Chris Evans as Captain
I
America.
know, and you remember what your buddy Alex said? If
Because-
they cast Robert Downey Jr., you can
Well, I
trust
lost my shit because he was the Torch.
Yeah,
I know.
He was the Human Torch.
Well,
in a
I'm glad we can
terrible
forget about
Fantastic
that.
Four movie, but
Yeah, I shit my britches over Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and I was so wrong.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I hated that Sherlock show. I said, well, he can't
Oh
act.
my god,
He's
I love
boring.
it.
That's awesome.
I love that show.
I still hate that show, and I'll stand by that, but I was wrong about him being cast as Doctor Strange.
Fucking Terrence turned me on to Sherlock.
I'm
Bad
not
motherfucker.
saying that Robert Pattinson's going to do good, but I'm saying you can't just expect that he's going to do bad. And all these people, like I said, we got the store, so everyone's got their opinion. I don't want, they say, and this is quotations, sparkly Batman's going to ruin it. And I said to someone today, you do realize he's not playing Edward Cullen from fucking Twilight. This is what actors do. They play different roles.
He was also in bad movies that weren't really his fault. They were bad. I mean, I don't
An actor
even
is
love the
subject
guy.
to
But
how
I mean, it's
bad
not
a
his
script
fault.
is.
I think the biggest issue with every single casting of Batman that we've ever had, they're one or the other. They're either Bruce Wayne, and they do a great job as Bruce Wayne.
That's a good point.
Or they're a good Batman. They're never both.
It's actually a very
And
good
I think
I agree.
Pattinson's going to fall right down into that same problem.
He'll be a good
Where he's
Batman.
going to be a great Batman. And he's going to be a terrible Bruce Wayne.
See, I was actually the
I
other way
gotta
around.
make a point though. Who gives a fuck about Bruce Wayne? I just want to see Batman.
Then
Yeah.
don't put Bruce Wayne in the movie.
I agree.
Yeah, one of my favorite things is there's a oh shit, I can't remember the exact thing, but someone uses some DC wishing thing to learn the true identity of Batman, and the answer is Batman. Because Batman's
Bruce Wayne is not his identity.
Bruce Wayne is the mask that Batman wears.
And that's a thing that's happened.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
There's a
In the
comic where like Bruce, Batman, and Superman are in the Batcave, and like Batman's completely fully in his suit, and Superman's like, Bruce is just us. You can take the mask off, and he looks back at him, and he's like, Bruce Wayne died when he was 10 years old. I'm Batman, and he like spins back and starts working on the computer, and Superman's like, okay, my bad, because that's
Superman
Batman.
decides
That's Batman.
to not just kill him right there. That's sad.
Have you guys seen the issue of World's Finest Comics where space slugs come down and they land on the Earth, and Superman and Batman watch them fuck, and then they cry at the end?
Well, I'm really turned on, but
I mean, it's a really
Space
weird.
slug porn.
One of them, one of the space slugs grows a weird hairy appendage,
What?
I
year
have
was
seen this. I know exactly. Fuck.
and then they just die.
Maybe
and then
Superman
Batman and
knew
Superman like stare at each other for a
Yeah.
long moment, and then they just start crying.
Maybe Superman knew him. He's an alien.
Yeah.
Good
It's
point.
something about
What was Superman's mom?
they like ate emotions.
Martha. He's crying because he's crying because he doesn't have a mom.
Yeah, no. So I left really hard because someone brought up, because we know now, spoiler alert, by the way, pause this for a second, skip it if you haven't seen the new Godzilla.
No.
But we now know that the next movie is Godzilla versus King Kong.
We knew that 5 years
Yeah, I mean,
ago.
everyone knows it, but, whatever. But someone brought up the fact that we all know how it's going to end already because they both know someone named Mothra.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's a dad joke. That's a dad
That's
joke.
a good one.
I'm an uncle, so it's close enough,
Yeah. Well, so anyways, it was about Robert Pattinson being cast, and lots of people are mad about it. I just don't think it. Every actor's had a shitty movie.
Sure.
If you held Harrison Ford to, is he in a bad movie?
No, that's not a fair
I
one.
bet if we
Yeah,
brought him
that's
up
a
on
good point.
IMDb,
Oh,
we'd find
bullshit.
one.
I bet he's in some bad
This
shit.
goes
Somebody pull this shit up.
What's he in?
Is Harrison Ford in a bad movie?
No.
back. That one with Josh Hartnett, Hollywood
No, that's
cop
good.
movie.
No,
That's
it was good.
I like
No, I
it.
don't- it's not
Hollywood
Cop or some stupid.
Yeah,
It's
Hollywood
it's not
Cop.
good at all.
Hollywood 5
Homicide. Hollywood Homicide.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, that's
Damn,
it.
good. That movie's fucking
I
awesome.
tried
Yeah,
when I
that's
worked
good.
at the video store. I tried to get people to not rent that, and it didn't work. So
Josh Hartnett's a heartthrob.
he was back then for
What
sure.
happened to that guy?
He's dead.
He'll be like in Eternals.
Wait, is he actually
I
dead?
don't
But
know
it's
if he's
my
dead.
whole-
Oh, did he die?
No, he didn't. I mean,
But it's my whole thing with with this new Batman movie is I was underwhelmed about it I posted on Facebook, of course. I was just like, oh, that's not really what I expected. It was Robert Pattinson. And then, of course, everybody jumps on me and is like, oh, you're already saying it's stupid. Everybody said Michael Keaton would suck. And it's like, I'm not even saying that. I just think it's the same thing we talked about at the beginning. I don't trust Warner Brothers
Yeah, it's
to
not
make
DC,
a good movie.
it's Warner
And it's not
Brothers.
even him. I just was like,
Yeah.
him? But
I agree with that.
He could be great. I
my
mean, but-
only problem
Yeah.
to that point is not that there's another Batman, or not that they're making Batman with Robert Pattinson, or it's a different take or any of that. It's that they're making another Batman instead of Dr. Fate or Green
Yeah.
Lantern or something.
or like Adam
have
said,
so
lock
many
him
things.
down for 10 movies
Yeah,
so
and
he
if you're gonna
actually
do
will
something-
do
yes.
multiple. I want
Have
to see him
some
more than once.
foresight. Have some fucking
I
foresight.
mean, fucking build something. Don't try to just copy Marvel.
It goes back to what you said and what Adam, and then what Justin just recently said. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad because the next one it could be a different person.
Yeah.
I feel like they have such a huge archive of characters that since 1989 they've made a Batman movie every 3.3
how many
years.
How many are there?
Yeah,
12?
it's like fuck off.
There's too many. I mean, Batman associated movies. That's
I mean, and Batman's
ridiculous.
awesome, and
And
everyone here
DC's
loves
been around
Batman.
for what since the 30s, 40s.
Longer than
They got a
30
ridiculous amount of characters.
Batman
Yes.
debuted in 39.
So
39.
this could be a great
Actually,
show or movie, and
the book
be a
says
different
March,
person.
but it actually
Agree.
came out in May of 1939.
I mean, none of us
yeah.
would be in this comic book shop if we didn't love Batman. But you
course.
got to
Yeah.
look at the reality of things. It's like another fucking Batman movie.
I want them to make a Batman movie where he fights a bear.
Yeah. Well, the problem is like DC in general just leans on Batman because like
Of course they do.
I do the
He's in every event they got going.
yeah I do the previews Facebook post for every time we do the previews for pre-orders and whatnot. I did it for DC. Every time I do DC's, it's like they have 2 new books and then 4 new Batman miniseries.
No shit.
And
Yeah.
what's weird is like I'm sure they sell because they wouldn't do it otherwise. But man, like whenever like I get excited because they're like, oh, we're letting Matt Fraction write Jimmy Olsen, and then we're doing 15 Batman miniseries that who gives a shit about.
Is Matt Fraction really writing Jimmy Olsen?
Yeah, and I'm fucking pumped about
that sounds cool.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Matt Fraction at DC.
You've
Yeah.
got to
In
be
the year of our Lord 2019, I'm excited
my
about a Jimmy
gosh.
Olsen book.
creator chaser.
I'm
That's-
definitely
that's
getting
what
that
it's
book.
about.
Can you guys put me down for that? I know we're on a
Sure.
podcast, but can you guys
Yeah.
put me down for
Yeah,
that?
we got recorded too, so you have to buy it.
Okay, as we wrap up, everybody go around the table. Favorite things about Batman, whether it be villains, cartoons, toys, T-shirts. No one would say T-shirts, dildos, or whatever.
The Bat-Doe.
The
Batwang.
Bat Braider.
Oh, Bruce Wang.
Bruce Wang.
It's going to be my new Twitter name.
Let's see. I love the figure from Batman 1989 that you could take his costume off and put it back on him. It was like Bruce Wayne. Remember how terrible that thing
I
is?
stole that from Jason Harmon.
I know. I remember that you stole it from
Now
someone.
it's in the ether.
It's actually
knows.
that
thing
is
is it
that is
was
somehow the worst and best thing.
it's a
Batman's
Michael
ever done.
Keaton toy, is what it is, and he's wearing.
A bat turtle. He has a turtleneck.
It's fucking
that has
amazing.
like a little scribbled bat.
a
logo
scribbled
on it.
bat on it, and he's protecting his identity.
somehow.
Yeah,
He's very
It's amazing,
subtle.
but he looks
Sounds
like
really
he's wearing
cool.
snow boots.
He's just a big fan.
And I remember I pushed
Actually-
his helmet down real hard, and it tore around his face.
I
And so I
actually-
stole Jason Harmon's.
I mean, Batman Year 100.
Stealing's
as I've
wrong.
already mentioned. If you guys haven't read that, it's by Paul Pope. It's
Everyone's doing it. If you haven't, you should. Right
written
now.
and drawn by Paul Pope.
We haven't
It's-
done it if you
it's
haven't, you
amazing.
should, since episode 3.
Issue
fun.
3.
But
Issue.
we're all doing it basically right now.
Fuck you, Alex.
All right,
fuck
well,
you.
and to my right goes Eric. So
Anything.
Nope.
I love that face.
Eric hates Batman.
I'm not a Batman.
I was
Eric
waiting
has
with
a
bated
Batman
breath. I was
tattoo.
like, what is Eric going to say?
I'm not a Batman.
I was hanging on it too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, we were all sitting there. Like,
I knew
what's
Adam
this
was
guy?
going to say year 100, but I was like, what is Eric
I
going to
can't
say?
help it. I'm not a Batman fan.
I'll say this. My favorite thing about Batman is Clayface. He's awesome.
Yeah.
that's your favorite thing about Batman?
No, it's not. But I'd say probably second to Spider-Man's villains, he has the best villains in comics.
My favorite thing about Batman is his like the cast that he spawned off. Like I said earlier, I mean Dick Grayson and Kate Kane are two of my favorite DC characters that wouldn't have existed without Batman.
True.
And same with Harvey Bullock, with Commissioner Gordon. He's got the best. Him and Spider-Man stand out as having the best cast of characters surrounding them, with the difference being I like Spider-Man a lot more than Batman.
Right on.
And that's not me shitting on Batman. I'm just saying,
Batman's awesome,
Well,
dude.
Peter Parker is more likable.
yeah, Peter Parker is more relatable because Bruce Wayne has the same problem with me that Tony Stark does, is that I'll never believe that some rich butthole
Would
gives
care.
half a shit.
No, I can't either.
Nobody gives a hot shit about nothing.
I mean, Batman is
Exactly.
basically Bill Gates in tights.
Yeah,
I don't-
or Elon Musk or something. Fuck
Right.
Elon Musk.
Well, Elon Musk might attempt it because he's an attention whore. But
No, Elon Musk would try to do something, fail miserably, and then call someone who did it better a pedophile, because that's what he usually does.
Zach, what do you got?
all right.
What is this, like a favorite and
Whatever.
Just whatever you think.
Probably my least favorite thing used to be the Batman and Robin movie. You know, the rollerblades and all that
That's
stuff.
bad.
Super colorful movie.
The credit card?
Yeah, but you know what? What I hate more than that is the repetitiveness of using Batman constantly. It's just
He's Wolverine. He's fucking in everything.
They've used
He's
it
too
so
saturated.
much that there's just no I don't feel anything
I think
for
he
it.
needs a break.
He needs a more than a decade break. Give it a fucking break.
Green Arrow used to tag out with Green Arrow in
Yeah,
the books.
that's why Green Arrow has the same exact
He has an
story.
arrow cave. He has an arrow mobile.
It's
and
true.
everything.
And Martian Manhunter debuted in that series.
Yeah, and Marshall Manhunter is way cooler.
Yeah, he needs a movie.
He said Marshall.
Absolutely.
Marshall.
Marshall
Yeah.
Manhunter.
The Marshall Manhunter.
Cobble Kid, what you got down there?
Well, I don't know. Batman's always been one of my favorite characters, and it kind of spawned my I mean, of course, that was one of my favorite movies as a kid. So of course, I love movies.
I mean, the
And
animated
that-
series is amazing.
That got me. I love cartoons. Have since I was a kid. That was a big one.
Absolutely.
My love of action
Animated
figures as a
series
kid.
is hands down one of the
So-
best things ever.
There's also another Batman toy that I think of and love. It was from the Michael Keaton Batman where his belt comes off.
Yeah, that was
It's
the
got a
first. That was the
string.
first
Oh, yeah.
Batman toy I had.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But
Yeah.
with the belt,
Yeah.
that's
Now, I remember
I had
you-
him and the Joker and the Batwing and the Batmobile and what's his name, the Bob or whatever.
Bob.
oh my God, Bob.
Bob's
Yep.
the man. That's one of the guys that Joker rubs his arm.
He does
Yeah.
the same thing to him.
Now that movie did show him being a psycho, and Joker just was like frustrated and just shot his like right hand man for no reason.
True.
That was also cool. Sorry.
I really think, though, my final thing on Batman, I like when he's a detective and not just a badass. I think
Same.
I think we haven't seen a movie where he's a detective.
I like when he uses his
a good
detective
point.
skills to discover what lights out on a Christmas tree.
By whooping a bear's
But
ass.
seriously,
I've been told that the new movie, the
Is
Sparkly
detective?
Batman, is going to be detective.
You know
You're
what they
shitting
said
me.
that they said that about Dark Knight Rises too. Whenever he
Ooh, that
uses his
movie's terrible.
dumbass,
Ugh, it's
well, that
garbage.
movie's great. You're wrong, but
It's
whenever he
No,
uses
it's
his
not good, but
detective
it's-
skills by stealing someone's cell phone hacking abilities and
that's not Dark Knight,
That's the
right?
Dark.
Is it
That's the
Dark
Dark
Knight?
Knight.
It's the
when he
Dark
does
Knight.
Okay,
that.
which it's whatever one he has
The
the,
Big
cell phone
Brother
thing,
thing.
on.
Yeah.
I remember that being like, this is going to be the one where we finally see Batman's detective skills,
And Batman's porn on his phone.
and it's fucking dumb because like
Which one of those tubes do you smell out of? Totally banged your old leg. You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh, you know what? There's also Lego Movie Batman, which is amazing.
Will Arnett is the best incarnation
God
of Batman.
Bluth.
God
well,
Bluth.
Will Arnett's always going to be the best anything. So
Yes.
How many incarnations of Batman are there?
Like
there's
30.
Adam West.
Jeez.
the old, I mean, we could start back
Too
in the
many for you
30s
to
with the
count,
old
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
The 40s we had the
wait.
old serials.
Hold on, I've got this somewhere.
Munch has a list.
Jesus.
Oh my
I don't know
gosh.
where it went. I've got it.
I want to point out the
Here we
fact that Eric Munch has double-sided notes that he printed on both sides, which
Our printer's doing that. I don't know why.
It's just setting. I can fix it. Okay, so Lewis Wilson was Batman in a 1943 serial, and then it looks like Robert Lowry was in a Batman and Robin 1949 serial.
Can you put in cricket sounds right here?
After that,
Of course, this is just live action Batman shit.
yes, this is just live action Batman. Of course. After that was the Adam West, and then came Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer,
Gosh,
George
there's that
Clooney,
much time.
Christian Bale, and Ben Affleck.
and now Robert Pattinson.
And we're
And
not
next,
counting
Robert
Kevin
Pattinson.
Conroy.
We're not
And-
counting Conroy. We're not counting Diedrich Bader
What about that chode that
Or
was in
God
Suicide
Bluth.
Squad that
Or that
attacked the Joker?
chode.
He was in there for like 3 seconds.
or Will Arnett.
Was that a different person?
Yeah, that was not
They didn't
any of
get
the.
Affleck?
Yeah, that was just some random chode in a costume.
No,
An
Kevin-
uncredited.
You know, I honestly believe like Batman's one of those characters where just a random chode in a costume can be Batman. Though.
All you've got to do is talk real deep.
Everyone
Yeah.
looks like Batman with the costume on.
You got to have a firm jawline. Like you can't have that. Like me without a beard could not be Batman because my head is completely circular.
Affleck's physical stature
Batman.
was exactly what he should be, though. I mean, that
He
was
looks
pretty
fat
perfect.
in the costume, like the Michelin Man.
But he's all humongous. But he's like 6'2",
That's
humongous
based-
guy.
That's based on Frank Miller, though.
yeah,
He looks like a
he does. He
refrigerator.
looks like a fucking
Yeah,
refrigerator.
I'm a
Refrigerator.
Frank Miller Batman fan. I love Refrigerator Batman.
I do
I'll
too.
stand
Do you
by
really?
it. I do.
I love that story.
Huh.
I
That's cool.
always thought that was a bad thing because I've been like, oh, he's fucking refrigerator. He's too big. Like,
What
I always
are the-
thought it was bad.
What are those things in the Mario game that are square and they fall on you?
Charge and Chuck. Oh, Thwomps.
That's what he looks
Yeah.
like to me. The refrigerator Batman. Frank
and
Miller
Chuck.
Batman.
Charge and Chuck's the football dude.
I know what Charge and Chuck is. Why the fuck do you think that was Charge and Chuck?
because
Yeah,
fuck
I
you. I had a very large beer earlier.
I'm so scared when I'm little Mario and he's running at you.
AJ
amazing.
drink a natty daddy.
a natty daddy.
I had a double look at that. I'm like, Natty Dad.
It made me horny, so I drank it.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Man, that's real.
That's how I live my life.
All right, we're gonna wind this down, guys. You can check us out on.
AJ's got it.
Yeah,
Oh, am I
AJ's
doing
got
this
it.
again?
Yeah.
Do this shit, AJ.
All right, if y'all are looking for us online, you can find us at Infinite Paducah on both Facebook and Instagram, or you can go on YouTube or Twitter and find us at Infinite Collectibles. If you're looking for us right now talking on Blitzkrieg Pop, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or literally anywhere you want to look up some podcasts because we're all over the place.
That's fucking awesome, guys. I've had a great time talking about Batman.
This has been really fun.
Before we get going here, I do want to remember one of our close friends, biggest Batman fan ever. I know we mentioned him earlier, but Shimkus. Shimkus was the best dude I knew in a long time. Josh, we miss you. I'm glad to have known you, buddy.
Me too, man.
Yeah.
Miss you and love you. Another one too, Jake Moore, across the street. My Batman bro growing up. He's gone too. But guys, Infinite Collectibles, Blitzkrieg Pop. We are vengeance. We are the night, and we're fucking out of here. We'll see you down the road. Peace.
Swear to us.